Welcome to The Source with your host, Dr. C.T. Curry, and co-host Coby Owens. News all across the nation. The Source. Stay in the loop in the city of Wilmington, Delaware. Work together for change in the community. A call to action to find the resources. The Source, the latest in news.
Good evening. This is Dr. Curry.
This is Coby Owens.
And welcome to The Source. Coby, it has been so much going on, but no murders, no shootings. That's something to celebrate today.
Yeah, so again, you know, we did have a few weeks ago, but other than that, it has been very quiet. Again, this goes towards the trend that we saw in 2025 of lower shooting and lower murder rate as well.
Do you think that's one of the reasons why Trump have not targeted our city yet? Because he's trying to find a way to get in here.
Oh, no, he's only targeted the cities that have decreased their crime already, so he could come in and try to take credit for it. So I wouldn't be shocked if he doesn't start looking this way.
They are starting to de-escalate. I think 750 people they're going to remove, but the city is saying they need to get rid of all of them because in actuality there was no real reason other than they're trying to do something with the voter registration. What is your thoughts on that?
In regards to what?
Over there in Minneapolis.
Oh, Minneapolis.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, I think Trump is saying, "Oh, it's the bare minimum. It's the bare minimum." It's not. That's excessive, right?
Yeah.
To have that many agents so far away from the southern border, where apparently everyone's coming from, according to his narrative. And also, according to his narrative, that means all the red states aren't doing their jobs. But he has used this militia to target minority-run cities and minority-majority cities as well, too. So not just in Minneapolis, in L.A., in Chicago, in Detroit. He keeps wavering if he's going to come to Philly or not. Yeah. And Philly keeps saying, come on,
bring
come
it on.
on with
Bring
it.
Bring it on.
So I think you're seeing a unified front from the local DAs in these cities, the mayors in these cities, but then also the community standing up and fighting back as well, too. And it's happening in a not only a cross-generational, but a multiracial coalition of people who are standing up and fighting back right now. So again, Trump is unifying the country against his regime. Yeah,
and I'm very happy about that. And one of the things I heard is that he's doing everything, and now that we're celebrating Black History Month, I think this is appropriate for me to share this, but he's doing everything he can to tear down all the progress African Americans have made or people of color have made in this country. But one of the things I wanted to talk about in the same area, we're just going to stay right there with where our city is doing very well with their violence, is the whole notion of the sanctuary cities, that he's really targeting them because he's gotten rid of so many other things that do with anything that's going to help people who are consider themselves minority. I heard one person say that, how could you really be against people coming to a country that was stolen? And when that statement was made, I really felt good. But let's talk about the sanctuary cities, and I heard a good definition. People thought that sanctuary cities were we just bring in all the bad people and we hide them and we hover over them. But there are sanctuary cities who want bad people out too. Yes. But they have rights, and I think that's one of the things that we hear a lot about. We don't hear a lot about with the sanctuary cities. It's not a bad thing to be a sanctuary city. Do you have any information on realizing that?
Yeah. So. This is something that I've advocated for a long time. It limits the participation of a local municipality or a state, their law enforcement, their government, of working with ICE. It does not hinder any criminal investigations. Absolutely. But it does not give them carte blanche to just run through the city, right? And what you have seen the Trump administration and his Department of Homeland Security do, they have put out memos saying that no longer are places of worship sanctuary spaces for individuals, no longer schools, no longer childcare facilities, no longer healthcare facilities. The courts aren't even a place for sanctuary right now. So again, you're using these places that have been set up as safe havens for individuals to handle their day-to-day business. You're going after, you're trying to pull the IRS data on individuals. But I thought we had no documentation on them. How would we know how much they're paying in taxes and where they live if we have no documentation, right? You're taking a 5-year-old from his school, right? And then transporting him from Minnesota all the way down to Texas to be processed, when you have detention facilities all the way in between. It has nothing to do with policy and procedure. It has everything to do with how cruel can they be, right? A 5-year-old, regardless of what their parents did, a 5-year-old is not a dangerous criminal.
Right.
A 5-year-old going to kindergarten, going to school, is not a dangerous criminal. So again, sanctuary spaces and cities have been a area in which they have limited the cooperation with ICE, but has not banned it completely, right? They still are allowed to do criminal investigations.
And
very fine point.
Yeah, and I wanted that to be said because there are some Democrats, there are some people who are liberal in their thinking, starting to say, well, we really don't want sanctuary cities around. In actuality, we should never look at things to the far extremes, whether it be the extreme right or the extreme left. We should really look at it in the middle, and I do know that sanctuary city is really, or those cities that are deemed themselves as sanctuary, is really to help have a place where people can get themselves together. If you're a criminal and you've done something wrong, you can come into that sanctuary city and deal with that wrong. And people don't really know that, and they're not trying to get that. I think Trump just wants to govern with fear. He wants people to be afraid, and that's how he can be the bully that he is. And I really feel bad about that, and I'm glad that Minnesota, they're kind of tough. You know, we don't hear too much about the Minnesotans, but there's some tough people.
In 2020, that's where the national protest started, right?
Yeah.
Minnesota, they are great organizers out there. They're very compassionate people. And I think we need more of that, to be honest.
Yeah, because we can't deal with the wimps that we find in some places. But they didn't even put that many people in Chicago, and they're putting them in Minnesota. So I'm very, very glad. So going back to our local government, and because we're tough too here in Delaware and Wilmington, we'll show them some things if we need to, or we'll get some help from Philly, you know, to do what we got to do. But I'm very happy to see that there was no shootings at all, and there was no murders, and I'm very good. Now, in saying that, I'm very, before I go into some other parts of the news, I'm going to jump to deal with this whole notion of the city is creating a citywide Office of Community Service, and I think this is awesome. And
community safety.
Community safety. What did I say? Community service. Community safety. We fought for that, Coby.
Yes.
I remember when we were under that last mayor, that I don't even say his name, Donald Trump Jr. We were saying it should not be about harsh punishment and beating up and throwing people against the wall. We need to have something where the public safety is a part of the community. I don't know all the details, and I don't believe nothing is perfect, because I know there are some things we may not agree with. But I'm hearing through the grapevine that there are people, and I hope you're not one of them, and if you are, I'm going to put you on blast right now, who just won't be grateful for this start. I don't understand how is it that we ask for something, we're getting it, and now we're hearing from even the liberals, that ain't what I want. When will we be happy? And if you're one of them, when will you be happy?
I cannot answer that question of when someone will be happy, but I will say this is a good first step, right? I agree.
Well, good to hear you say that, because I thought I was coming at you.
I have praised Chief Campos in the past for the work that he's done, and I think it in this last year has been reflected in the end of the year report, which also we have had less abuses of power from the police as well too. That community trust is starting to be built back up. But this office, right, of community safety is being created to have a holistic look at how you can be more proactive and community based in your approaches, not only to policing, but also just general public safety, right? So again, in that public safety, it's policing, it's EMS services, it's fire services, it's all of it coming together and strategizing on how we can best do as a city with the amount of money we have here as well too. And I think, this position, this office is going to be run by a director who will be a direct senior level advisor to the mayor's office. So again, we had the CPSI initiative, which was the Community Public Safety Initiative that was led by Dr. Deb Mason, who just stepped down from her role. She got confirmed unanimously, congratulations to her, to be a magistrate judge. So she stepped down from that role. So this is the next step of that phase.
Well, that's awesome. Well, I'm going to say hats off to the mayor, too. Chief Campos has done a phenomenal job. I'm glad they kept him around.
Yes.
And people say I'm a little biased, and I don't mind admitting when I am. But I am very much a strong supporter of Brother Cade. He is. I'm sorry. After going through the folks that we went through, chief of staffs, mayor, now. We calling and we're getting things done. I know I got you there. I can say, look, could you help me as a city council person? But to be able to call the mayor's office, to be able to get some results, to see things like this we've asked for.
Yeah.
Could you help us with just policing our community in a way where you're a part of our community?
Yeah.
It's been heard. It's not perfect. So if you're not one of them, whoever the other ones are, in city council who's raising their voices and acting like they want something perfect, they need to check a chill pill, because they didn't have to do this. They could just act like ignore it. I'm not saying it's perfect, because it's going to get better. There's going to be some glitches, but even the process they use, even the person they're using, all of that says to me we're moving in the right direction.
Yeah.
Could we learn how to just move in the right direction and continue to move in the right direction until we get it to where we need it to be? Coby, you need to sit down with all you liberal folks on that city council, all of them. And if you want me to name them, I will name them. And sit down with them and say, look, we're making progress. Chill out. Because what you're seeing is what's happening with the Democratic Party, and I don't want to blow our chance with the midterms. Because sometimes we can be so far right, my opinion, I'm not saying it's yours, we can be so far right that it'll turn people off. We have some elections coming up in our local municipality. People are running for offices. If people see you as extreme, you may win a couple of people over, but you're going to lose some people, some good people. And I think that when I saw this and then I started hearing that this person and that person and city council members are not happy with this. This is what we were asking for. Now let's perfect it. That's all I'm asking. So I'm gonna leave it there, and that's my comments. And I ain't afraid for people to send me any notes, but people are gonna be careful when they come at me, because when they come at me, I'm coming back. I'm coming back, and I'm coming back stronger. The last thing I want to talk about in this area, I shouldn't say last thing, but one of the things also I want to talk about in this area while we have time is Wilmington has spent over $1 million on snow removal. Now, I don't know whether it's clear. Well, they've spent over $1 million, and people are not happy. And I don't know if I can defend the city too much, but tell me what you're thinking.
So we've spent $153,000, actually over that, in overtime hours for city employees. We've spent $1.09 million in contracts with Diamond Materials to try to get rid of this 8 inches of snow that we got throughout the city of Wilmington. It was a once-in-a-decade storm that, again, we didn't get the proper help that we needed from the state. The state did not take care of their roads in the city of Wilmington. Again, there's state roads all throughout municipalities, right, that the state's supposed to come in. They have the bigger equipment that they could do. The city had to do all that work first and then try to get into the neighborhoods, which just created havoc, which led to schools being closed for for a whole week. Schools, or they had asynchronous or virtual learning if they properly prepared.
Which I am out against, but go ahead.
You had workplaces, again, a lot of people worked from home, offices were closed. Downtown was still a mess on Friday, right? Neighborhoods are still a mess at the time of this recording. They're coming through now and just starting to work, but it's going to be a little while longer. And then if we get more sleet this upcoming weekend, or some snow on Monday, we're just going to slow everything down and we'll be back in the same position. Hopefully it's not as bad as it was before. But again, it's a long way from being done with all this snow. We're going to be seeing snow on the ground for quite a while longer. And also, Mother Nature is no joke, right? If I'm being honest, it hasn't been warm. Right. I think the warmest day
30.
Since that snowstorm was 30 degrees.
And
right?
somebody said to me, I was in the bank, and somebody said to me, oh, it's warm today. I said, where at? They said it's 30 degrees. That's warm compared to where we've been.
Right. So in those first few days after the snowstorm, it was 8, 5, and 2 were the hottest points of those next 3 days, right? Mm-hmm. So again, that's what we're dealing with. But I do also have some concerns with how the state handled delaying the opening of the Welcome Center at Howard, not getting vouchers out to people until that Wednesday. For those who were staying at Hicks, who are unhoused. I'm glad we were able to open up Hicks and bring those people inside, because we would have lost some people in a snowstorm like this. But again, we just have to be better. And as of Wednesday, those 7-day vouchers have expired. So what is next? Because there's still snow on the ground.
And cold.
This weather is still insane. And next to the water is even worse.
So you say the vouchers are ending this coming Wednesday?
This past Wednesday.
This past Wednesday?
Yes.
Wow. So we have to report on what happened. So is there a request for more vouchers? Or?
There has been a request from the city side of things, and I believe Friendship House, who's the operator, has also asked for more vouchers. As of the time of this recording, I don't believe that request has been fulfilled, but hopefully before the end of the day today or before the end of this weekend, it's filled.
Yeah. Now, Wilmington has played a very, very strong role in the election of our governor. And I'm just wondering if we maybe should call the chief of staff to come on just to talk about some of the concerns that, where they are with addressing some things. Maybe we're just not aware. That's how I'll couch it, of some of the things that they're doing to really show Wilmington that they are appreciative, that administration is appreciative to what they have done. Maybe we should invite them to the show. And as a matter of fact, I'm gonna reach out this week and just say, look, could we get a 15-minute segment with you just sharing some of the things that you've done with Wilmington specifically? Because I'm hearing that there's a neglect going on, and I'm hearing in your response, even with the snow removal, with the vouchers, those things are critical. And whoever is running the office, sometimes we blame the governor because that's who selected the person who runs the office. But what about the person who is running the office? Why isn't these things happening in an expedited manner? And I'm really concerned about it. So I'm gonna reach out, and we're gonna get back to you all and let you all know if they decide to decline. They have that right, and if they decide to come on, we'll certainly ask those type of questions. What are some of the things that y'all are doing, and what are you in the process of doing to help our city move forward? So thank you so much for some of your updates. That was very good, because I thought you was going to lambaste the city for their snow removal, but I see you really learning. You've been going to the committee meetings, obviously.
Listen, I haven't missed a single committee meeting in 13, 14 months now that I've been on council. I've been to every committee meeting, every council meeting. I think I'm the only council member that's had 100% participation.
Now you're going to get in trouble. See now they're going to say, there you go in there bragging. But in actuality, that's what you're supposed to do, because at the end of the day, you have to do, and you have a full-time job. Make sure you say that.
Yes, I do.
Make sure you say that. So that you won't, and matter of fact, your supervisor is now moving on.
She
to
did.
She's gone.
She as this past Monday, the 2nd, was her first day at her new job in Pittsburgh. So she moved on from the Metropolitan Wilmington Urban League here in Delaware, and now she's the president and CEO of the Greater Pittsburgh Urban League out in Pittsburgh, PA.
I got to make sure we send her Pastor Curtis's number out there, because she likes church, and I liked her. We will miss her here. And who's running your office now that y'all are?
As of right now, we have no one. The board can appoint an interim like they have done in the past, or they could just wait until they hire someone on but the search hasn't even started yet.
So are you goofing off or are you working still?
Oh, I'm still working.
Oh, that's
the
what
work
you're
never
saying.
stops.
We're going to have to send an
Work
auditor
never
over there. We're going to
stops.
send an auditor over there to see if or not you're still working or you're just messing around. The last thing I want to share today is the state police was doing an investigation. A couple of weeks ago, there was a carjacking in Wilmington.
Yeah.
I bring that up because people are warming their cars. They're running. I see them running the Dunkin' Donuts, and they're leaving their doors unlocked. Help me to convince the community that it's not safe to leave your car running.
Yeah, we have seen a spike this season in carjackings, and a lot of them are people, not only do they leave their car unlocked, but they leave the little key fob in the car as well, too. So that leads to people being not really, being able to stop their car, but then also being able to start it back up, drive around, go shopping, do whatever with your car. Don't leave your key fob in the car, because once it turns off, the car cannot be restarted. But also, just when it comes to break-ins, make sure you lock your cars. Lock the doors.
Yeah.
We have not seen a spike in actual, breaking under windows or jigging on. It's literally cars are being left open. And some people, they leave their key in there 24/7. So if your door is open, now they can go ahead and just pull out and pull off with your car. Some people leave their cars unlocked and they'll ravage through your cars, take any money you may have in there, a card or something. Don't leave expensive equipment, technology and stuff, laptops, phones. Don't leave that in your car either. So that's where we're at with things. But again,
I have a garage, and I don't leave my key in my car in my garage.
I know in my district there was a car stolen. It was parked in the garage, but the garage door was open, and the keys was in the car. And I talked to the guy. He was like, "Yeah, I do it all the time. I haven't closed my garage door in 3-4 months."
He'll close it now.
And I said, "You gotta close the door,
or at least lock the door.
Lock it. They could have been all through your house." He was like, "Well, I locked the door to the garage."
Right. Yeah.
Which again, those are like bathroom door locks. Those aren't dead bolted and stuff like that. So again, just be aware.
All right. Well, we're going to take a quick commercial break, and we'll be right back.
Home. It's the place where we go to feel secure, safe, and loved. But for thousands of youth living on the streets, there's no such thing as home. Out here, it's a predatory world that can destroy lives forever. At Covenant House, we give at-risk youth a place to go where they feel safe, supported, and people care about their future. A place to call home. To help or get help, go to safeplacetosleep.org.
And we're back. Coby, what's going on with the Coby Corner this week?
Yeah, so there was a government shutdown.
Yeah.
And then there was a government reopening.
And going to be one get ready to happen.
And there's going to be another one probably soon. Yeah. But I do want to give hats off. They have been able to work together to keep the government open after that very brief 4-day government shutdown. With the only caveat is the funding for Department of Homeland Security, which is where ICE is. That was giving only a 10-day extension. So next week you will see them going back and forth about the funding there. There is a list of asks that is coming out that are requesting that ICE agents no longer wear masks, identify themselves. It's like a list of 10 things that Chuck Schumer and
the one that
Hakeem Jeffries
and the
are
one that I
asking for.
kind of agree with beyond the masks. I think they should get rid of those masks, definitely. But I also agree with that administrative search warrants where they need to move towards it needs to be a court order because that will stop all the biasness. Yeah.
And again, this goes a long way to addressing some of the issue. Some of the other things is only doing targeted enforcement. So again, going after criminals, protecting sensitive locations. Again, Delaware has a bill, HB 94, sponsored by Sean Lynn, that will also do this as well too. But childcare facilities, schools, healthcare facilities, churches, places of worship would be protected again in courts as well too.
Can I ask you this question? Now they put my boy Don Lemon in jail because he went into a church, but he was reporting the news. He wasn't even a protester. And when the protesters went into the church, they said that that's violating their rights for freedom for religion. So how come ICE can go in and just violate somebody's rights when they're trying to worship God?
Because they're the federal government.
Oh.
But Don Lemon and 3 other black reporters were all arrested by the federal government.
Yeah.
And taken into custody. There was numerous reporters in there, but they didn't believe any of the black ones were truly reporters.
Because they had color.
Because they had some color on.
Yeah.
There was a request, which I don't know how you do this, but to stop racial profiling. Chuck Schumer kept talking about that. Again, he misses the mark with it. Uphold use of force standards. Ensure state and local coordination and oversight. Body cameras for accountability, not for tracking. And no paramilitary police. Regulate the standards of uniforms and equipment that officers are, ICE agents are supposed to use. Again, some of them are using their own weapons. They're dressed in military fatigues, even though that is not their basic uniform. So again, those were some of the asks that was made in this proposal. We'll see what comes from this. Again, this follows the death of Renee Good, Alex Petit, who was an ICU nurse. That happened, January 24th, and Renee Good was killed at the beginning of the year, I think like the 6th or the 7th, right?
Yeah, Donald Trump, yeah, you're right. Donald Trump made a crazy comment. He said that they're only speaking about one of them, the nurse, but they don't say nothing about the good person. And I knew where he was going. He was trying to talk about the fact that she was a part of the gay community, that he was just trying to demonize her, even in him trying to soften the language. He's just really lost. But I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut into your stuff. He's lost.
He is. And, we'll see where that budget time request goes from the Democrats and if they're able to find the votes. And if not, if they're willing to hold the line. It's to the point now that even John Fetterman said that he doesn't think in good faith he could vote to continue to keep the government open.
He said that?
And I was shocked.
Oh, I'm shocked. I didn't even hear that part, but I hear a lot. I read a lot. Okay.
So, again, it's very interesting to see this, but I do want to move to the local level, right, to the state level, because it is budget time here as well too. The Delaware General Assembly is on their 5-week break. Only members of the Joint Finance Committee, JFC, are meeting right now every day to go over the governor's proposed operating budget. And it's a big bill. It's almost $6 billion, right? With the money coming in, mainly 29% coming from the corporate franchise tax, 35.8% coming in from personal income. And then the rest is broken down, 1.3% from cigarette tax, corporate income tax 3.3%, bank franchise tax 1.4%, gross receipts tax 5.9%, real estate transfer tax 3.6%, lottery 3.4%, unclaimed property 6.6%. But operating expenses, they're pitting 4.7% towards higher ed. And that mainly covers most of the salaries of professors at UD, Del State, and the other Delaware state-related schools. 2.2% for judicial, 3.4% for services for children, youth, and their families, 28.1% for health and social services, 7.4% for corrections, 3.7% for public safety, 35.8%. The largest portion of the budget for public education in this state. So again,
and we're so low.
We have seen how that has worked. We're just burning money in some cases. We have seen multiple recommendations come forward to how we can change that. But again, we are a very long way off from actually seeing those changes. there's two things that stuck out in the budget. Well, a few things that stuck out. The budget allocates $8 million for emergency literacy fund, right? And reamps the Your Voice, Your Choice program. $3 million for teacher-driven projects in healthcare. They're looking to expand access to care in rural communities. That's partnered with $157 million of federal dollars to build a new facility, expanding food access programs and other initiatives to lower the costs. Again, putting more money towards housing, maintains our $366 million rainy day fund, and a budget stabilization fund.
How much was that rainy day fund?
$366 million.
For just in case it rains.
Just in case it rains. And then we also have a second fund, our budget stabilization fund, in which we have $469 million in there to just prepare us and remain prepared for our future economic uncertainty. The budget also invests $25.3 million in purchase of care, child services, pay increase for all state employees to make sure that compensation is competitive. In year 3 of the recommendations of the public education compensation, so a raise for teachers as well too.
Now, which one? Where does what part of the budget is bond in?
So the bond is capital projects. So this is his general operating bond budget, which is $6.9 billion.
Right, I saw that.
In that will be the projects as well too. They haven't started that process. That'll probably be in April, in which the bond committee will come together and kind of break down what projects will get funded, which ones will get deferred.
Okay. Now, to make sure I'm understanding, when you say purchase of care, does that also include like the STARS program, or is it just strictly the purchase of care?
The STARS program will be included in that. They haven't defined how much money will be through that program, but purchase of care on that side, there will be an increase in how much money can be spent for child care. This goes a part of the governor's push to have more universal child care. We're still a long way off from that, but they are in the working towards that.
Okay, very good.
Lastly, there was, again, this is a 5% operating spending growth, and revenues are about at 2% increase, right? So they have to make up that gap. But Governor Myers has also proposed establishing a new state film tax here in Delaware to create for the creative community, right? Tax credit, sorry. And this is, again, with the hopes to bring a smaller Hollywood here. This is what Georgia did in Atlanta, and this is why they've been able to attract so many people from California to Atlanta area and other areas to film as well too. New York has something like this. Seattle, Washington has it for a local level, so in Chicago as well. So we will see how this goes. Also, I sent a resolution down to Dover asking for the city of Wilmington to be able to create a cigarette tax for tobacco products. That has now been turned into increasing the state's tobacco tax and cigarette tax, and they denied our request for the city of Wilmington. My thinking was to bring a new revenue stream here, but the state took it and worked it out for them. Just gotta love it. Just gotta love it.
Yeah.
Another thing that the state is looking to increase in the budget is increasing the business formation tax as well too. So if you're creating an LLC, the price of that will go up here. Again, we have over 1 million LLCs that are incorporated here. May not operate here, may not hire anyone here, but that is, what they're looking to do. And then lastly, The Edgemore Port expansion project. This has been a project that has faced some legal challenges, not only from the federal government, but also from the Port of Philadelphia, who of course does not want the Port of Wilmington to expand because that would take away business from them, has cleared a huge hurdle in their process of getting the final okay on proceeding with this port expansion. So again, it looks like we will be getting it. And again, that is, if y'all are familiar with the Edgemore area, pretty much the old DuPont chemical plant back there. They're clearing that out now, building more space for them, as well as almost up to Fox Point. So again, we will no longer require or required to secure approval from the Port of Philadelphia to order to move forward with efforts, which again, it was a huge thing that stopped us in 2024. So hopefully we can get this done quicker now.
So what the benefits is that we don't have to go through Philadelphia?
Yes.
To get approval?
Yes.
Okay.
The U.S. Army Corps of Engineers, which is in charge of issuing the permits, agreed last month to the grant. And again, requiring Delaware to does not have to obtain a formal statement of no objection from the Port of Philadelphia, which has been our regional competitor for a long time and has long opposed this port expansion. Why? Because now we will be able to bring in ships into our port at a 45 foot deep, so the bigger ships could stop here and not have to spend more fuel going up to Philadelphia. So a lot of them will stop in Wilmington instead of going up to Philadelphia, which hopefully will bring more jobs down here and more employment opportunities for high-paying jobs, union jobs.
Yeah. Well, that's good. That's good.
And that's all I have.
Well, it's interesting that you came kind of light, but you didn't do nothing on my city council, so you're going to have to tell me something is going on with city council before we let you go.
City council, because of how we were scheduled the first week back in January, it seemed like we've had a long gap. We do have a meeting coming up in which some few key things are going to be voted on. Nothing major. But one of those things for me is saving the park in my district. We have a park that is actually owned by the PepsiCo company, bottling company on Governor Prince. They are selling that property. They moved up to Claymont. And when they came to this community 70 years ago, they built the basketball court and the playground and everything as a way to partner with the community. It's something that is used and by everyone in the community, not just the East Lawn community. We do movies in the park over there and everything. They reached out to the city in 2024 before I was elected under the Pizicki administration, and Vincent White was the councilman. Neither one of those, the Pizicki administration and Vincent White, they didn't think this was important, so they didn't do any follow-up on it. The sale goes through next week. And Patsy reached out one last time, now that I'm the new council person last month, and said, hey, are you sure your community doesn't want this? I was like, whoa. Yeah, they want this. What's going on? And they broke it down to me, and we've been able to work with their lawyers, the lawyers for the new facility that's coming there, and the lawyers at the city to draft the ordinance to start the process of making sure that we are able to hold on to this property for the city and enter into a lease agreement while we go through the process of breaking that parcel apart so that we can annex that part into the city and take full operation.
Well, the city would take the responsibility as a park.
Yes.
They'll still be able to sell the parts that's not that park.
Yes.
That's interesting. So your city council person didn't feel that was important. Neither did. Well, we know the mayor didn't.
No.
That mayor.
The mayor doesn't like that side of town.
So he can care less. But the city council person.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah. And again, I don't know who he talked to down there, but the people who live right next to the park want it. The people who live a few blocks over from the park, they want it. Everyone has.
Tell me where
wanted
this is again.
If you come up East 35th Street, do you know where House of Right is?
Do I know where House of Right is? No, but go ahead.
Sorry. House of Right is 2 blocks up from where the park is. So you have the two sides of houses, and then behind the houses, there's a little alleyway that takes you to the park.
I know exactly where you're talking about. Okay, and they currently, when I say they, I mean PepsiCo, they're currently taking care of it, but there's...
No, so the city takes care of the park. From the old agreement we just always did. There's people over at Parks and Rec, no shade to them. They've taken care of this park. They didn't know it was even a city park. But we've taken care, we have the operational... Already. So, like, we have the relationship with them. The other half of the park where the picnic area is and the playground equipment is, that's actually owned by Delmarva. Again, these are both county portion. It's one park. Half of it is PepsiCo, half of it is Delmarva because they own the utility site right behind it. But again, I want both of them to go ahead, break the parcels up, bring it into the city, and annex that into the city, just so that we never have to worry about
What is the crime rate over there?
It's very low.
That's what,
it's very low.
Listen, I actually loaded questions on purpose, but go ahead.
It's very low. I think we've had one shooting in that park ever. There's been a few like small robberies, and when I'm not neglecting anything, but it's been like, oh, I was playing basketball, someone stole my hoodie, or someone stole my bag. Not armed robbery.
I understand.
But yeah, no, it's almost no crime over there. Again, it's that community comes together. They do their big East Lawn Day in that park every year. That community utilizes that park, utilizes the grills over there and everything. You
know, it's really interesting how some of you city council people do not follow up on your districts as you need to, but have a bigger picture of things they want to follow up on. If it does not meet the need of the mayor or does not meet the need of their ambition, then they don't care less about it. If the city has been taking care of the park and somebody reached out, immediately the first thing that would come to my mind is, yes, we want to keep it. Because guess what? It's not costing us any more money.
Right.
I don't understand it. Y'all have to teach me some things. But if I ran my church the way some of these people run their offices and things of that nature, this church would fall apart. It would fall apart. So you got to pay attention to the details. Anything else for you, Coby?
That's all I have.
Well, if that's all you have, when we come back, I got some stuff I want to talk about. So don't go anywhere, because I want to talk about these Epstein files just a little enough, just to say, there's a couple comments I want to make, and I also want to talk about the midterms. So we're going to take a quick commercial break, and we'll be right back.
Join us live for our weekly worship. On Facebook and YouTube.
I'm doing the best I can, but I still gotta have a little Chardonnay, and I still gotta have a little this, and I gotta still sneak around. The devil is a liar. That's an excuse.
Wilmington's most exciting church.
One more time before you wake up in the wild. Your eyes, I see a flower slowly dying.
Together with the Nature Conservancy, you have the power to make a difference. For unspoiled nature, for beautiful wildlife, and for people everywhere. Together, we can find a way to ensure that all life on Earth can thrive.
Oh, in the wild.
Our natural world needs us now. Every day, we lose more lands, waters, and the wild species that depend on them. To learn more, visit nature.org today.
Hear our praiseworthy choirs every Sunday, including the Israel Men's Praise Team,
I feel it inside of me, telling me to go ahead.
the E Zion Men's Choir,
We will win. We will fight. We will win.
the Rockin' with Jesus Youth Choir,
Open your mouth, say something. Open your mouth. Open your mouth, say something. Say something. Open your mouth, say something.
the Shabbat Praise Team,
You can have it. Reach up and grab it.
the Dodd Choir,
It's sorrow, my hope for tomorrow. My
the J.L. Henry Choir, the Jones Family Praise Team,
God is my everything. Come on, y'all, put your hands together. Hey, one more time. God.
and the Judah Youth Praise Team.
keep on smiling.
Inquire about joining the music ministry by calling the church at 302-652-9114.
And we're back. Coby, they have subpoenaed the Clintons
Yes.
to come and testify before the House.
Yes.
The Clintons initially said no, but then they saw, I guess the Clintons called their bluff and said yes. Now, to my understanding, they are scrambling, trying to figure out what to ask them.
Yes.
Help me to understand what's going on here.
Political theater. Trying to distract. I think Bill Clinton has some things to answer for.
Yes.
For his involvement with Jeffrey Epstein. And I think he should be held accountable. But there was one name that was mentioned well more times than his. Actually, his name was mentioned more in these files than Jesus was mentioned in the Bible. Someone broke down, and
What
Harry
a great
Potter,
analogy.
and that his name was mentioned more in these files than Harry Potter was mentioned throughout the entire book series.
Oh, wow.
And that is Donald J. Trump. His fingerprints and DNA are interwoven all throughout these files, but yet James Comer, who is the chair of the House Oversight Committee, has chosen to only target President Clinton and former Secretary of State Hillary Clinton to come and testify in front of their panel about the late Jeffrey Epstein. Sorry. But they still have no clue what the format, the questions are going to be, if they're going to provide questions so that they can come with answers, or is it just going to be more political theater? I'm going to yell at you, I'm going to yell at you, I'm going to yell at you. As soon as they try to talk, up, it's my time, it's my time, it's my time, then your 5 minutes are up. But I think this is laying the groundwork for what will be a very interesting fight going forward. And again, opens up the door that former presidents are fair game.
Yeah, I heard that.
For things like this. You hear this because someone's term ends January 20th, 2029. And no matter what, because we have a constitution that says you can only run twice, as of right now, unless he decides to burn it.
Which he'll try.
Donald J. Trump will no longer be president come 12/01, January 20th, 2029. But this is also why elections are so important, right? Once the House flips, a House Democratic leadership could also subpoena Donald Trump to answer about these files as well, too.
Well, his immunity, tell me a little bit about that, because people are watching us and they are wondering, now that the Supreme Court has given him immunity, he may not be able to go to jail, but he still are required to answer questions?
Yes, and he'll try to say presidential immunity for almost any question, but again, these are crimes that committed decades before he became president. So again, he should have to answer for that. This would be the nerd in me would love to hear the debate on the Supreme Court on if past crimes would also be waived once you become president or not. I have a feeling what it should be, but you never know with this Supreme Court. You never know. So it'll be very interesting to see where it goes, what legal challenges come from this, and where the different legal minds end up on this.
Yeah. Now, one name I did not hear, and I need you to tell me where it is in the Jeffrey Epstein's files, and that's the name of Barack Obama. Why? He's a good-looking guy. He was young. He was vibrant. How come his name wasn't in that file?
That Negro wasn't invited.
Oh, okay.
They have tried to find everything they possibly could on President Barack Hussein Obama. The only two things they could get him on was his middle name sounded funny and he wore a tan suit.
Yeah.
You remember that?
I do. That was the major catastrophe.
It was every major news outlet reported on that.
And let me tell you, it was so bad at one point that I said, get over it. I'll wear a tan suit. But now they all wearing tan suits. I just don't understand
Listen, I will say this. I've never worn a tan suit because of that moment, right? Because of how demonetizing they made that moment. And that has always stuck in my mind of how they said it was so unprofessional and everything. It's the middle of summer. You can wear a light gray suit, dark gray, charcoal, black, blue, navy blue, royal blue.
He ain't wearing no more neither. That's a
he
shame.
didn't.
That's a shame.
He didn't.
But I was waiting for somebody to bring up, Barack Obama, because he was young. How come he didn't? But see, you said because he wasn't invited. But the truth of the matter is, it's a integrity thing too. He wasn't in it.
Michelle wasn't in it.
Yeah.
Vice President Harris wasn't in it. Yeah. They did try to get Russell Westbrook or Russell Wilson, and he said he put a whole statement out. He said, "Whoa! A third-party person reached out to me about potentially buying a plane. I didn't buy it. Leave me out of this."
Yeah.
But again, the people who are in it numerous times, thousands of times. That doesn't happen.
I like your analogy of his name being mentioned more than Jesus' name in the New Testament, which is probably the absolute truth. That's a good comparison. But for him to be in it so much and not have to answer at all is really egregious and preposterous. And I really think that once the Democrats get in, people are going to say, well, I don't want all these hearings. Somebody's going to have to hear these girls went through. Some of the stuff I purposefully didn't go through the various things because it's hard. I have a daughter, okay? And to even think that somebody took advantage of her would make me lose my mind up in here. I can't say that right now. But I am really concerned that the rich and the powerful are being permitted to continue on. They gave names of some of the victims. They gave identity to some of the victims, but they covered and ensured, and that was Donald Trump making sure of that none of his friends were exposed. That's horrible, Coby. That's just horrible.
I know.
And how do we as a nation, as a community, how do we ensure, because he's doing everything he can to dismantle our democracy, but how do we ensure that he doesn't win? I'm going to give the answer, though. I didn't want you to get the answer. I'm going to give the answer. We ensure it by voting. The midterms is going to set the precedent. Let's put, and while I have some issues with some Democrats, one thing I give Democrats credit for, they'll throw their own under the bus. Unlike these Republicans who decided, look, Donald Trump is our man and we're going to stick with him and he's going to make us lose everything we got, but we're going to stick with him because maybe he'll give us a job at Trump Plaza or something. but Democrats will, because it's such an open and diverse a party that, if you're wrong, they'll call you for them to vote. Now, what's her name? The former Speaker of the House?
Pelosi.
Pelosi was hot that they would even vote to hold Clinton in contempt because No, don't do that. You know, they wouldn't do it to. But see, one thing I learned about Democrats is that it's a large party.
It is,
and they're not going to be beholden to anybody who they feel is doing wrong. And that's why I really do hope, and it's one of the reasons why I keep my card as a Democrat, because some days I just want to throw it away, and I'm just sick and tired of some of the right strong right stuff. But people, I think if we vote and we send a message that we are not going to tolerate it, I guarantee you we'll get our democracy back, but it's going to be a whole lot of cleaning up to do. A whole lot. Before we go, because we don't have that much more time, the midterms are coming.
Yes.
You were always saying you felt good about the House. So you still feel good about the House?
I still feel good about the House.
Do you feel better about the House?
I feel even better about the House, especially with federal judges saying that California can use their maps that
Really?
they just recently
I didn't see that.
Yes.
Okay.
So those maps are in play.
Oh, wow. So I guess Trump didn't like that. And the second part is, now, what about the Senate?
The Senate is still very much going to be 50-50, literally 50-50 at this point. But I do see some potential for Democrats to win in Texas and in Iowa. Those two states, recent polling has come out, and people are not happy with the electeds who are running on the Republican side. So hopefully that gives even more opportunity for the Democrats to either pick up one or two of those seats.
What about North Carolina?
North Carolina, I still feel as though it's going to flip. So
if we get those two seats and the ones that you felt earlier, then you feel that we got it.
Yes, that will be a 52.
That'll be 52. That'll be 52. So they'll have 48.
Yes.
Okay. All right. That's interesting. Now, something else happened in this whole political arena. Marjorie Taylor Greene or Green Taylor, I can't remember which way you go.
Marjorie Taylor Greene.
She's no longer a what'd you call those people?
MAGA.
She's definitely no more MAGA.
Congressperson?
She's no longer a congressperson. They're feeling that her district may turn blue. What do you think?
I mean, they are upset, and Georgia recently changed their primaries to be a jungle primary, which means everyone runs at the same time. There is 22 Republicans running to fill her seat. There is one Democrat running. All you need is to have that majority, and you win. So hopefully Democrats can pull out enough votes.
Well, if you got 22 and all the Democrats vote in his favor, he might win. Or she.
He might.
Oh, is it he?
Yeah. So we'll see what happens. I believe they have to get over 50%. Though.
Oh, so that's going to be the hard part.
So it's going to be hard. But if it's low turnout on the Republican side and they're all splintered, it could be done.
Yeah. Well, we're going to see. We're going to come back next week. We're going to see how things go. But we do want to make sure we close our show today by saying that I am going to reach out to the governor's office this week to see if the chief of staff can come in and just talk to us a little bit about what's happening and some of the things that they're doing to support Wilmington, which we know was one of the main strongholds to support the governor in his quest to becoming governor. And we're going to try to get some answers for you all. Coby, you have anything else on your corner today?
That's all I have.
Well, I want to take this opportunity to say thank you so much to all of you. Stay warm and know that God is on your side. Until the next time, God bless.
Take care, y'all.
You've been watching The Sword with host Dr. C.T. Curry and co-host Coby Owens. Tune in every Sunday at 5 p.m. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe for the latest episodes.
Hey, this is Pastor Curry, pastor of the Eastside Fair Baptist Church, Wilmington's most exciting church, the church that love ya, and anything you can do about it. What we're going to do today is we're going to have a real good conversation. I'm excited. Come on! Every Sunday at 11 a.m. Why don't you call somebody real quickly? Tell them Coffee with Curry is on. And let's get after it.